Hi everyone, I'm Hayley. I'm always in the craft room, and that is where I've been this week with two completed garments to show you. And I'm very excited that one of them is indeed the Idlewild t-shirt that has plagued Friday sews now for many a week. Here it is, all finished. It's exactly the length I wanted. Yes, because that was the first thing I had to decide on with this being a panel print. Perfect length. So pleased with the flowers and the effect of the panel print. However, I don't love it. Now, I don't hate it, which I did this time last week, so we're making progress. There's just something weird about the sleeves. They're the cap sleeves from the pattern, and I just feel like they're too big. They stand too proud. Can you see that? They're giving me kind of Star Trek vibes. I don't know. It probably will grow on me as I wear it a bit more. I'm just so pleased it's finished. So last we left off, I had basted the neckband in flat, and I was like, oh, all I have to do is close the other shoulder seam, whiz up the sides, and we're done, because I had already hemmed everything. That was literally the first step I did. So I came back to it, closed the shoulder seam. Don't know what I did, but the neckband was all like, I took a photo so I can show you, because I literally still don't even know how I achieved that. But yeah, it was wrong. It was all kinds of wrong. So I unpicked the shoulder seam. Luckily, I had only basted. So I unpicked the shoulder seam, re-sewed it, again basting just to check. And then when I flipped it all out to look at it, I did have a perfect neckband. But I was like, this is tiny, tiny. It was like a neckband on children's wear, not even joking. It was miniature. And of course it was, because if you remember, one of the first things I did wrong last week or the week before, this has been going on so long, I don't even know, was when I sewed the shoulder seams. So you know what? That might have affected the shoulders as well, the sleeve thing. So when I sewed the shoulder seam, I marked a 1 centimetre seam allowance so that I could be super accurate. And instead of sewing along it, I chopped it off with the overlocker. So I've lost 6 millimetres there, 6 millimetres on the back, which is 1.2 centimetres. And of course, I had to do the same on the other side, because otherwise it would be all hoiked. So all the way around, I've lost 2.4 centimetres, or an inch, off the neckband, which it turns out is an awful lot. Just to satisfy myself that I did definitely have to redo it, I did squeeze it over my head, and it went over, but it was choking me. It was tiny. So at that point, I was so cross with everything about this top that I just threw it halfway across the room and walked away. And you know what? It was kind of lucky that I did, because I decided to make some anima pants instead. They are the ones I am wearing. I've released a video about them earlier this week. And honestly, I stopped making this. I was so cross, but I also knew my temper tantrums are usually quite short-lived. So I didn't want to unthread all the machines, which were navy. So I thought, what can I just make that's navy? And top of the list from my autumn sewing plans was the anima pants. I'm going to show you my autumn sewing plans, because after I made that video, I wrote out a new neater list. And then, how clever is this? I drew a little box, and using my kids' felt tip pens, I've coloured in what thread colour I need. So now that I'm threaded navy, I can just do all the navy projects one after the other, change the thread colour, do all the white ones, and so on and so forth. Loving it. Anyway, I didn't even have to look at this list to know that the first thing I was planning to make was a pair of anima joggers. I've done them. I absolutely love them. But more than that, I loved sewing them, because after the rage I had been in, the unexpected happened, and everything I touched just turned to gold. Every notch lined up. Every seam was the same length as the other seam to which I was pinning it. I did not even once set off sewing thinking I was on a straight stitch when I was on a zigzag. And that happens to me more than I care to mention. I didn't even once get going and realise the machine was in reverse. The stars aligned, the sewing gods were on my side. Every single thing went right with these trousers, and I loved making them. They were so enjoyable. The pockets, I did such a proper job. Understitching, fusing. I can't even tell you. It was so enjoyable. And I never get to say this, so smug face is coming out while I brag. I made these trousers in like 2 hours. I mean, what? Takes me 3 weeks to make a t-shirt. Trousers 2 hours. Who even knows? Anyway, once I was finished with the trousers, and if you want more details about the fit and things, do check out the other video. I was just so thrilled and in such a good, happy mood. And the machines were still threaded navy. So I got back to the t-shirt and I unpicked the neckband. I went and got the pattern pieces out again, because I should say this is the Idlewild t-shirt by Itch to Stitch, but with the neckline traced off the closet core tee. So I had to get the pattern out again, lay it all out on the fold, retrace the neckline front and back, trim the neckline some more, then put the neckband in again, then sew the shoulder seam again. Luckily this time I did manage to get the neckband right when I did the shoulder seam. And then I came to put the cat sleeves in. Could I find the sleeves? No, I couldn't. I had all the other bits. Honestly, I don't even know. This top is cursed or something. Well, I follow an amazing piece of advice I heard from Gretchen Rubin of the Happiness Project. And that is that when I can't find something, I don't look for it. I tidy up. And I've got to tell you, if you've never tried this strategy and you're as messy as I am, it's life-changing. Because if the item is genuinely lost, as in you took it out the house and left it in a coffee shop or something, well, at least everywhere's tidier. But 9 times out of 10, I'm going to go as far as saying like 95 times out of 100, the thing you're looking for is just under something else. So if you just start tidying up, just literally wherever you think it is, wherever you last had it, start picking things up and putting them away. It works. Anyway, that's exactly what I did. And so I picked up some fabric and I was folding them to put them in the stash, which is around the corner. And as I was doing that, a piece of fabric slithered out and landed at my feet. Literally, it just landed at my feet. And it is this fabric, which isn't that just the best print ever? I love it. I love it so much. I bought it on eBay a good 10 years ago. And I was trying to recreate a Bowden t-shirt that I had seen back when I used to get the catalogue. The print is identical. The fabric is quite different because that was a t-shirt and this is a woven. And I don't know if at the time, I literally was so new to sewing, I hadn't computed that those two things didn't particularly go together, or if I knew it wasn't a jersey fabric and I just loved the print so much I didn't care. But I bought it, and with it, years ago, I made a grain line scout tee. And I never got the fit right on that. I did not like it. It's a polyester fabric. I don't know what weave it is really. It's quite closely tightly woven. It's slippery and slinky. It's not breathable. And I didn't like that top. With the benefit of a few more years sewing under my belt and understanding more about fit and what I need to change, I'm sure I could get a much better fit on that t-shirt, because I now know I need a square shoulder adjustment and to remove length from bodices. So I'm sure I could do better. But honestly, it's just got bad memories for me now because I loved this and I felt like I kind of wasted it. Well, when it slithered out onto the floor, I realised there was quite a bit left, probably 1/2 metre of the full width and then a little extra bit. And I just thought, instead of folding this up and putting it in the stash, why don't I just cut something out? So that's what I did. Now, when I have a remnant, my natural inclination is to make the True Bias Ogden cami, and I need to stop it. Not because I don't like the pattern, it's a beautiful pattern, it's lovely, it turns out well every time, but I just do not wear them. And the reason is that here in the UK, if it's warm enough to be wearing just a cami top, it's usually very sunny. We don't tend, we do occasionally, but we don't generally get hot weather unless it's accompanied by sunshine. We don't get like the muggy hot weather. It tends to be sunny and hot or cloudy and the temperature drops off. So if it's hot enough to wear those tops, it's too sunny for me to be that exposed to the sun. I mean, the sun has come back here in the UK this week, and I know the lighting isn't great, but you can see how pale I am. I cannot expose that much surface area to the sun. I can't afford the SPF, and I'm just uncomfortable. Like, I hate it. So Ogden camis, I've learned, are just not for me. I've tried wearing them like with a cardigan, and not enough of the print peeks through to kind of make it a deliberate outfit. And also, I tend to wear cardigans when it's like cold in the morning, warm in the afternoon, as a like on-off extra layer. I don't tend to wear one as like an outfit because I always get too hot. So I didn't want to make an Ogden. I did think something to bridge the seasons to wear with a cardigan would be nice. And that day I happened to be wearing a Marilla Walker Mayer t-shirt. It's a woven top. And so I thought, let's get that out and see if I can fit it on the fabric I have available. And I did, just. And I've shortened it quite a lot, but you know what, I'm short in the torso. So, and I don't mind if it's a bit cropped because I think this will be fantastic to wear with some really high-waisted black jeans I have. So looking at it now, it's really cropped, isn't it? I'm going to stand up and hold it up without touching the fabric to the microphone. Yeah, it's going to be pretty cropped, but I think it's going to be fine. I might even have enough to add a hemband because I do have a few scraps left, or I could do some kind of bound hemline to save fabric. But I'm so pleased I just got that cut out. And once I'd done that, I'd calm down again. I finished tidying up and I found the sleeves and I put the sleeves in and I finished the top, and yeah, nothing else went wrong. So I'm pleased that it's done. As I said, I'm not loving the sleeves. I don't think I've made this pattern before with the cap sleeve, so it could be the pattern. It could be the fact I messed so badly with the shoulder seams. I don't even know at this point, but look, it's done. And I've got to say, I love the daisies. I came of age in the 90s when everything was about the daisy print, usually on a smaller scale than this, but yeah, I have a soft spot in my heart for daisies. There's one thing I forgot to tell you about this t-shirt, and that is the size I made. I cut out a size small, which is as per my measurements in the pattern instructions. However, I sewed the side seams just at like shaving off 1 millimeter on the overlocker for a really neat edge. It should have been a 1 centimeter seam allowance. So let's do the maths. I should have taken off 4. I took off 1, so that's 3 plus 3. Front, like on each side. So I think I gained 12 millimeters or 1 centimeter all around from doing that. And the reason I did that was this fabric. I've got a scrap here because when I was searching for the sleeves, I found this piece and I thought I'd found a sleeve, but I did not. And I found this piece and I thought I had found a sleeve, but I did not. Anyway, the reason I gave myself a bit of extra room on the side seams is because this fabric has a white base. It's printed, and the Idlewild does have negative ease at the bust, and I didn't want that. I didn't want it to go white. Yeah. So I've given myself just a bit of extra room. I think it worked out perfectly. As far as I can see, it's not doing the white thing. I think we're safe. Anyway, that's it for this week. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.